Okay, this is the review for your LO3 test. LO3 is all about percentages, discounts, and how you pay your employees. Okay, so before you watch too much of this video, please go in your Blackboard Learn course under where it says Review for Assessments. Find the Review for Test 1B. And if I were you, I would do each and every practice quiz first, and then you can watch this review video, or even try to do the review questions first before you watch this video. Okay, this first question is really about vocabulary. So let's go through each term one by one. The trade discount rate. Remember, if it says the word rate, that is a percentage. So I'm looking for the word percentage. Percentage of discount given by the manufacturers to the retailers. That would be the trade discount rate. Remember, a factory makes the item, then it sells it to the company or the store at a discount so the store can make money. Okay, next one, a cash discount. This is when if you pay the bill or the invoice early, then you get a reward or another discount, and that would be this choice G. A reduction off the price because you paid early. Chain discount is when you have multiple discounts on the same transaction. The same thing that you're selling is going to get more than one discount. So in this case, that is this series of discounts. That's more than one discount that is offered. Okay, list price is the expensive first price that's listed. They also sometimes call it the catalog price. So that is F. Okay, net price is the cheaper price that you get to pay after the discount has been taken off. So that is right here. That's E. Now the net price equivalent rate, and I'm going to look at the next one also, the single equivalent discount rate. Those have to do with when we have chain discounts, multiple discounts, and they're just formulas you must know. Okay, so I just wrote the formula for the net price equivalent rate. It's 1 minus the first rate times 1 minus the second rate times 1 minus the third rate, however many discounts they give you. When you do 1 minus, that's also called the complement. So it's this, it's the product, which means multiply the complements, which is 1 minus all the discount rates. All right, so now we have just one more. It's the single equivalent discount, and just using the formula, that's just 1 minus the net price equivalent, or the complement of the net price equivalent. So make sure you know your vocabulary terms. Okay, now we'll just do a basic example. It says he bought the mobile phone for a net price of $1,080. Then the discount rate is 10% off. And I like to immediately write it as a decimal, 0.10. And we want to know the regular price. Well, another word for regular price, we call it list price or catalog price. So the formula I want you to use for that, it's actually not given in your formula sheet, but it's helpful to memorize. The list price is just the net price divided by the complement of the discount rate. So then it's just a plug and chug issue here. We know the net price is $10.80 and the discount rate is 10%, so 1 minus 0.10. So in this case, we'll have the list price equals 1,200 dirhams. That's the expensive catalog price that comes first before they take the discount. So again, just remember, this formula is not on the formula sheet. You should memorize it. Okay, next question. It says catalog price. Again, catalog price is another word for list price, the expensive starting price. And it says they bought the laptop for $810. Well, that would be the cheaper price, which is called the net price, is $810. And we want to know the discount rate. So again, this question is asking us to use a formula that's not on the formula sheet. but it's easy enough to remember. Please remember this one. The discount rate is just the list price minus the net price divided by the original list price. So now we plug and chug these specific numbers. 900 minus 810 divided by the list price 900. We will get a decimal. So when we calculated it, we got 0.10, which if you were going to write that as a percentage, you move the decimal 2 places and you get 10%. So it must have been the case that the factory took a 10% discount when they sold it to the retail shop. So again, before we move on, this is a formula you should memorize. It's not going to be on the formula sheet. Okay, let's look at this next problem and see what we have. List price is 2,000. I'll write what I know. List price, the expensive price is 2,000. And it says the quantity is 20. So that's the list price for one item. But we bought 20 items. Okay, and we got a 20% discount rate. So let me write that. Discount rate is 20%, 0.20. Now we can answer the questions. First, it says total list price. Now what they mean here is because they gave us the list price for one item, but we bought 20 items. So in this case, we take the list price total is just the list price for one item, which was 2,000 dirhams, times the quantity of items that we bought, which was 20. So in this case, the total list price is 40,000 dirhams. Okay, let's move on to part B. Part B is asking for the discount amount. Okay, well the discount amount, this formula is given on your formula sheet. The discount amount is just the list price. That would be the total list price for the whole order, 40,000, times the discount rate of 20%. And then when we calculate it, we get a final discount amount of 8,000 dirhams would have been taken off the list price. That's the discount amount. So now part C is asking, well, what's the net price of the whole order? Well, here the formula on the formula sheet is given. It's net price equals list price minus discount amount. We have the list price of the whole order is 40,000. We just calculated the discount amount to be 8,000. So we know the net price, the final net price of the whole order will be 32,000 dirhams, which helps the shop be able to make some money when they sell things to the customers. Okay, this next question is all about chain discounts, which if you remember, a chain discount means the factory or the store is offering more than one discount when it's selling an item. So when it says there's a chain discount of 5/4, that means the first rate is 5% off, and then the second rate, we'll call it rate 2, is 4% off. Please remember, you cannot just add those. You cannot say, okay, well that's 5 plus 4, 9% off. No, it's more complicated than that. So let's look here. It says the list price, that means the expensive catalog starting price is 10,000. Part A is saying, what is the net price equivalent rate? So this formula is in your formula sheet. It says the complement of the first rate. That means 1 minus the first rate times the complement of the second rate, 1 minus the second rate. If there were more, you would keep going. But in this case, there's not. So in this case, we have 1 minus 0.05 times 1 minus 0.04. So as a decimal, we'll get 0.912. And as a percent, that means 91.2% is the net price equivalent rate. What that really means is when you're paying, you're going to pay 91.2% of the list price. Let's look at part B. Part B is the single equivalent discount, which is a formula in your formula sheet. You just do 1 minus the net price equivalent. So in this case, 1 minus 0.912, which is 0.088. So if we were to write that as a percentage, we'd say 8.8% is the single equivalent discount. Now what that means is that it is equivalent to giving one discount of 8.8% off. So now part C says, what's the trade discount amount? Again, this is going to be a formula on your formula sheet, but the discount amount is just the list price times the single equivalent discount. So in this case, that's just 10,000 times 0.088. And so we get a discount amount of 880 dirhams taken off the list price. So then it asks for the net price. Now there's two options for how to do this. I'll write them both. You can say the net price is just the list price minus the discount amount that's on your formula sheet. Or you could say it's the list price times the net price equivalent. I don't care which one you do. Let's do the second one. You'll get the same answer either way, 10,000 times 0.912, and we end up getting that the net price is 9,120 dirhams. That's how much we will pay for the item. Okay, this next question is about cash discounts. The reason I know that is it says the word invoice and it starts talking about dates. So cash discounts are rewards for paying early, and usually you will use the Julian calendar whenever you see dates in the question. So let me pull that up. So the first thing I'll do is I will make a timeline, and I will start it on the first date of the invoice, or when we got the bill. That's August 7. Now I look on the Julian calendar for August, then I go August 7, and I get that that is day number 219 in the year. Okay, then I look at the terms. 4, 5, 2, 10, net 30. That means in the first 5 days, if I pay, I will get 4% off. If I pay after day 5, but on or before day 10, I will get 2% off. But if I pay on day 11 until day 30, then I have to pay full price. So we'll use that calendar to figure out the exact dates. So 219 plus 5, this will be 219 plus 10, and this will be 219 plus 30. So this is day number 224. This is day number, 219 plus 10, day number 229. And this is 219 plus 30, that's day number 249. So day number 224 looks like August 12th. Let me write this in black. August 12th. And then day number 229 looks like August 17th. Now I know this is a lot of work at the start, but then it makes the rest of the questions much easier. Then day number 249, looks like we're back into September now. Looks like September 6th. Okay, now we know all the different deadlines and we can answer the questions. So part A says, what cash discount do I get if I'm paid on August 13? Well, here's August 12th. So August 13 is in the place where my discount will be 2% off. Okay, so remember the discount amount always just equals the list price times the discount rate. So in this case, the list price was 8,000. The discount rate is 2%. So if I pay on that date, on August 13, and get 2% off, then instead of paying the 8,000 dirhams full price, I'll be able to take off 160 dirhams as a discount amount if I pay that amount early. Okay, so let's look at part B. How much do I pay on August 19? Okay, so August 19, look where we are. After August 17, in August 19, you have to pay full price. So in this case, we're going to pay the full 8,000 dirhams on August 19. Now it's a much easier question since I already figured out all those dates. Part C says, when's the credit due date? That means when's the last day I have to pay the full price? September 6th. Okay, easy enough. Okay, this next question is about payment on the basis of time. Now, before we look at this question, I just want to review the vocab. Weekly, if you are paid weekly, you are paid 52 times per year because there's 52 weeks in a year. If you are paid bi-weekly, that means once every 2 weeks, we can take the weekly number and divide it by 2, and that means you're paid 26 times per year. Now, don't be confused. Semi-monthly is not every 2 weeks. It's 2 times a month. So the middle of the month and the end of the month. So that actually means 24 times per year. And then the other option, which is most common here, is you are paid monthly, which is 12 times per year. So please remember this vocab, because the question could be anything like this question and just change this word. But in this example, it says you're paid 15,400 bi-weekly. That means 26 times per year. So we'll multiply that by 26 paychecks. And after we multiply, we get an annual salary. That means the amount of money in the whole year. The annual salary is 400,400 dirhams. Okay, this next example is an overtime question. And when you have an overtime question, always make a table. You will not make a mistake, and it's very easy if you make a table. Before we do that, let's go ahead and add up all the hours that this employee worked. In this case, we get 47 hours. Then I'll make my table. Okay, we have 2 rows, regular hours and overtime hours. Now in the first column, regular hours are always 40. Always, always. Memorize this. Regular hours are 40, and the regular rate is given in the problem. So in this case, 220 dirhams per hour. Now we have to figure out how many overtime hours. So what you do is you take the total hours and you subtract 40, the regular hours. So the total hours in this case was 47 minus 40. So that means 7 hours were overtime. And then this, the overtime rate, always, always for this class, the overtime rate, you take the regular rate and you multiply by 1.5. So in this case, 220 times 1.5, you'll get 330 dirhams per hour. Now your next step for both the regular row and the overtime row is you multiply across, and we get 40 times 220 is 880 for our regular pay, and then 7 times 330 is 2310 for our overtime pay. Then if we're going to add those up, we would get a gross pay of 3,190 dirhams. Let me circle that, and now we can put these answers. So regular pay was 880. Overtime pay was 2310. So gross pay, which means total pay, was 3190. Okay, this next question is about commission and salary and draw. So salary is usually just given in the problem. Commission, remember, is going to be your total sales times your commission rate. And draw is when you borrow money and then they take it out of your paycheck later. Now, sometimes you don't have a draw. Some jobs you don't have commission. Some jobs you don't have salary and you only have commission. So you have to just read each question carefully. Let's look at this question. First of all, it talks about salary is given. So let's write that. Then be careful here. It says there's a 10% commission, but it's only for the sales that are over 20,000. When it says that, when it puts the word for sales over a certain amount, you want to actually make a timeline to see what's happening. Between 0 and 20,000, we actually don't get any commission at all. Only above that, you get 10% commission. So now we'll do a thermometer. It says his sales for the month were 100,000. So when we're calculating our commission, this first amount doesn't get any. For the first 20,000 in sales, it doesn't get any commission. It's only commission here in this category. So how much money is in that category? That's 100,000 minus 20,000. So that's 80,000 times 0.10. So we get a commission of 8,000 dirhams. And it also says, let's use this blue, there's a draw of 1,000. So let's rewrite the whole formula, and then we will replace one by one what we know. The salary was 4,300. The commission we calculated was 8,000, and the draw was given in the problem as 1,000. So when we put all that together, we get a final gross pay, total pay of 11,300 dirhams. Okay, for this problem, we see a table. And whenever I see a table, I think to myself, this is some kind of variable pay. Okay, so the first thing you want to do when you know it's a variable pay problem is make a timeline starting at 0. Always start at 0, even if in the table it starts at 1. Then you look at these endpoints, 18,000, 50,000, the right endpoints, and you write them on your timeline or your number line. And we look at what happens in each of the sections. In the first section, if you sell between 0 and 18,000, that's going to be a commission of 6%. In the second section, 9%. And in the last section, 11%. Now, when we're calculating the commission, we will just calculate each section separately. So before we do that, we look at the sales, 44,000. And like a thermometer, we go until the right spot and we write where we stopped. Okay, now I'll look in each section. So in this first section, how much money is in there? You subtract the endpoints, 18,000 minus 0. So we'll have 18,000 in the first section times 6%. Now we look in the second section and we have 44,000 minus 18,000, which is 26,000 in that section. And that is going to be at a rate of 9%. Now, unfortunately, the salesman did not sell any more than that, so we can't go into the other categories. And this will be the calculation for our commission. And we get a final calculation of 3,420 dirhams. Now, it's asking for gross pay. We just calculated commission, but in this case, there's no salary, there's no draw. So in this case, the commission is, in fact, the same as the gross pay because they didn't tell us anything about salary and they didn't tell us anything about draw. Okay, last question in the review. Again, I see a table, so I know this is a variable pay question. So again, to start my variable pay question, I make a timeline starting at 0. Now I know in the table it starts at 1, but please always start at 0 and make your breaking points these right points. So 5, 20, 50, and above. So if you make in this category, you'll get 30 dirhams per item, and then 60 dirhams per item, 80 dirhams per item, and 100 dirhams per item. And it says here, I made 35 bags. So we do the thermometer, we stop at 35, and then we can calculate the earnings in each section. So we're going to say, in this section, the endpoint's 5 minus 0. There were 5 items, and we made 30 dirhams each. In the next section, we subtract the endpoints. Oops. We subtract 20 minus 5. That becomes 15 bags. Then we made 60 dirhams each. In the next category, we subtract the endpoints. 35 minus 20. There's another 15 bags, and we made in that category 80 dirhams each. So now we can calculate, and we get a total payment of 2,250 dirhams. And again, I look and I don't see any mention of salary. I don't see any mention of draw. So this number is our final number, which would be the total pay or the gross pay. Okay, so that's the end of these review problems from this assignment, but please practice more. If you do all these practice quizzes and you understand every problem, then you should do very well on the test. Good luck, everyone.